want to introduce you to Keith Geyer, who at 47 was one of the youngest non-Japanese to achieve the master grade of 7th Dan from the Japan Karate Association. He has trained with me since the age of 15 in the Early Birds Instructors Group. He's also trained many times in the famous JKA Instructors Class Tokyo. His experience in the art of karate is illustrious to say the least. This tape, winning Kumite, graphically illustrates his innovative approach to karate coaching and training winners. This first of a series deals with the preparation of a fighter for competitive karate. As the founder of Global College of the Open Hand, I highly recommend Keith Geyer's methods and ideas, which are innovative, sound, and effective.
Tournament is not the ultimate goal of karate, but the urge to win is human instinct, and many karateka have victory as their goal. I believe a fighter who has natural ability, a burning desire to win, and is able to apply what he or she has practiced in training will find success in the ring. It is a coach's responsibility to prepare his fighters using specific exercises and drills that will enhance their performance. What follows are some of the methods that I used to prepare the South African team for the World Shoto Cup in Japan. First, I'd like to show you some highlights from my competitive fights, as this fighting experience has been the source of many of my ideas. Without supplementary training, your competition preparation is incomplete. A tournament fighter needs a solid base of aerobic fitness, combined with the ability to execute frequent bursts of energy. Distance running is a good place to start, and from there you can incorporate short sprints, stair running, and other explosive exercises. Plyometric exercises are another tool to develop the explosive ability of the muscles. They are exercises that require fast, explosive execution, like jumping, hopping, and bounding. Weight training can provide exactly the kind of dynamic power needed for competition kumite. Power is a combination of strength and speed. Correct technique will give you the required speed, but when you add muscular strength, the result is power. Much of the force exerted by the limbs originates in the trunk and midsection. Therefore, abdominal, hip, and lower back muscles must be the central element in the strength training program. A weight training program must always commence with a warm-up, followed with some light resistance work, and end with stretching and mobility exercises. Techniques in karate tournament must be controlled just short of impact, but they should be capable of inflicting devastating damage. Bag drills are an excellent way to develop the power and effectiveness of your blows. It is important to find a balance between strength and speed. Even though strength is an essential element of power, speed is what ultimately increases the impact of your blow. When practicing bag drills, always have a solid base. Use rotation of your hips and torso, as well as the momentum of your body weight to drive through the target.
We're going to use it in competition. It's no good if our eyes are not together with our technique. So our eyes must be focused, as if that's someone's chin. Focused. In other words, if Warren did a right punch at me, I stepped sideways, that direction.
The power of the Haito strike originates in the rotational speed of the torso. The snapping technique of the back fist strike relies on speed impact and not driving penetration. This strike should be delivered and returned as fast as possible. In the first reaction drill, we use 4 responding techniques. Different techniques can be used in this exercise with the same effect.
That is Kizami's Yakuza. Right motion, left motion. So I've got my left leg in front, you have your left leg in front. I switch, you switch. Right. We'll try medium pace first.
In this drill, the fighters must not only respond as fast as they can to the change in target, they must also use the correct technique each time. This will improve their split-second decision-making skills. The drill must be performed with an emphasis on accuracy, and the fighter must try and maintain a calm, poised attitude. With the practice of this drill, the participants will develop more skill, their reactions will improve, and their movements will become more efficient. In the second reaction drill, we are using the opponent's change of direction as our stimuli.
Medium pace. You must react immediately. The next one, if I move back, I'm not going to move back far, just that amount of movement. You must use your legs to get to me. Not use any technique, as long as you use your legs at my move. Okay. Maybe a double step Yakuzuki. If I move to my left, you think of a technique that I would be colliding with. Maybe a left Juraken or a right Mawashi. Okay. Or if I move to my right, maybe a spinning Juraken. Do that slowly. Or maybe even a back Shiromori.
The fighter must respond to the opponent's swift movement in one of 4 directions. The fighter must not try to anticipate which way the opponent is going to move, but rather wait until he sees the direction and then react appropriately. Practicing these exercises repetitively will instill in the fighter a spontaneous reaction when presented with a similar scenario in the ring.
Gordon, allow him to go into the corner. What could have happened is that, come slightly forward, that Johan has worked Gordon back into a corner. Okay, this is in the fighting position, working back into the corner. Gordon might.
An example of how this drill can be useful in the ring is when a fighter has maneuvered his opponent into the corner and the opponent, not wishing to step out of the area, attempts to escape the corner by moving either to the left or to the right.
He tries to move to his right, back here. Okay, that's where this training comes.
A good fighter should have the ability to recognize when to meet an attack straight on, or when an evasive technique will have a better result.
Right, what we're going to go on to now is evasive techniques, not meeting the attack straight on, but going around it. I'm just going to give you 3 examples. I'm going to do it medium pace on. The first one, I'd like you to attack me with the right Yakuzuki. As you see, I'm moving, not sideways, but I'm moving at a 45-degree angle, which makes it difficult for him to use his left hand. That time, I put in a punch. Just medium pace. Okay. The next one, I want you to take with the Kizamizuki. I'm going to move the opposite way. Same thing, I'm going to keep your hand for a split second in that position. I then step onto my front leg. Kizamizuki. Once again. I could follow up with left Yakuzuki. Obviously, there are dangers. I've got his watch his back leg in case he's spun from that position. So I've got to be ready for that. But then in everything that we do, there are dangers. The third one we're going to try today is if he moves his front leg, if he kicks with his front leg. So he comes up slightly with his back leg. I'll move slightly away, I'll move up that way, left Yakuzuki. Right, let's recap. Right Yakuzuki, left Kizamizuki, front leg.
For an evasive technique to be successful, timing and distancing are of utmost importance, and these elements can only be improved with many repetitions. One of the advantages of using an evasive technique is that it might expose a weakness in your opponent's defense, as the counter-attack is delivered from an angle. The aim of a foot sweep is to break your opponent's balance, divert his attention, or change his direction and then follow up with an attack.
Foot sweeps. Johan, please. I'm going to use this red line to demonstrate. If Johan's one foot is on the green mat, another foot on the red mat, he's in a very strong position, very stable. For me to try and sweep him there wouldn't be a good idea. especially if he just stood and he hit it as I came into him. Once I'm attacking him from this angle and his feet are on one line, it's almost the same as if his feet were on that same line. He's not strong from that direction or from that direction. So that's what I've got to try and get him to do when I'm about to sweep him. So it's either I've got to pick it up during our movement that his feet are on one line, or maybe I even go to the side, then take him. Alright, so that's the actual training we're going to do. He's going to stand in a strong position. I'm going to move to bring his feet into line. The sweep is not that direction. It's almost as if I'm pulling this way. Then follow up with whatever technique is.
In this drill, we are focusing on sweeping the opponent from the correct angle. Notice the sweeping leg does not strike the opponent's leg, but rather hooks it in the ankle area and then pulls with a sweeping action.
Energy, let's go.
Your aim when practicing the drill is to cause your opponent to fall as close to you as possible so that your counter can be followed through immediately. The second part of the drill focuses on reaching the opponent with speed when they have not fallen close to you as planned. In this exercise, your opponent falls in any direction and you must react and score with a strong technique as fast as possible.
Be careful when you go down to punch. When you go down to punch, that he doesn't do a kick. That's why you keep his hand up. Think of what the possibilities are that person could attack, even though they're going down on the day.
It is not only sweeps that cause a loss of balance in a match. This exercise, therefore, will prepare you to respond immediately to any loss of balance in your opponent's Kumite.
You're going to start off to get our eyes honed in at a slow pace. Okay? You can throw techniques, good control techniques, at a slow pace. You block everything that he does. You can move around just in this small area here. Any technique you like. I want to see clear blocks.
Your blocks in Kumite must be short, crisp actions, using minimum amount of movement for maximum deflection of the incoming technique. During the exercise, keep a calm mental state. Do not allow the opponent's continuous attacks to fluster you.
You can do any kick at Johan. Any kick. You can even keep your leg up and do 2 or 3 kicks with the same leg. Block Johan.
Notice that although only one hand makes contact with the attacking limb, the other hand is always covering in case of deviation of the attack.
Stop.
Leg catching is a technique, if executed correctly, renders the opponent completely helpless. Just as with all techniques, there is an appropriate time for leg catching to be applied, and all opponents must be viewed and treated differently.
The first one is against the Maigiri. Now, for me to stand at this distance is a perfect kicking distance for Johan. So put your leg up in a Maigiri. So there, I'm at his mercy if I keep still. As soon as I close the distance up and I stifle his kick, that's what I'm looking for. So as he lifts his leg, I want you to move into him. I keep his hand down as if I'm doing get under up. Okay, so that I move my body towards him. And at the same time, there. Okay. The second one I want you to do is he brings his back foot up and he does a right mawashi giri. Once again, here I'm at a perfect distance for him. Okay? Your left mawashi giri. Bring your back foot up. There. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to block it with my left hand. I'm going to keep my right hand there. It also acts as a block in case he kicks tuna. So my right hand hangs down in that position. So I'm blocking that position. Alright, but then catches, and once again, there. Then follow up here, and tilting that a bit. Alright, the third one is back kick. This one, the danger is once again, if I stay in the same spot. Alright, if I move away from it, I'm safe. Okay? The best thing to do for a catch is close the gap. Close the gap there. Alright, now, you have to be very careful, your right arm. If I lift my right arm, at the same time as he's kicking, that's a danger. So he catches me underneath my arm. So while I'm moving towards him, I keep my right arm against my body. So if I'm not quick enough, it still acts as a block. Okay, once again. There. Okay, then his momentum will take him around. And I follow. You find that the harder he kicks, the easier the throw was. So just to recap, once again, it's my giving, and move into you. Okay? Second one, I'm going to block with this hand. I keep this hand here to catch, to, there, and roll in that way. Okay? The third one, I move in this direction. Keep control of this, that arm there. It needs momentum. Okay. Right, face apart, please.
It is essential that you adapt yourself fully when moving forward to do a leg catch. Make sure your center of gravity is as low as possible, as this will give you a strong, solid base to work from. One of the dangers when attempting leg catching is the use of the opponent's hands. When watching for the kick, you must see all. Don't lose sight of any other techniques.
One of the techniques that I found worked for myself was a maigiri, which changed into a roundhouse kick. And if it was tricky enough, you catch 90% of people doing a downward block to block your maigiri, and then you hit them on the side of the head with a roundhouse kick. If you can get your opponent to change legs so that you're on the open side, Johan, you then bring up your left leg like a straight maigiri. Just do that. That's it. Gordon, funny sense? From that position, it looks like it's an inch in the stomach, doesn't it? So you normally block downwards, but then you change it to roundhouse kick. Okay. The secret to this is not turning your body too soon. If your hand starts to turn into a roundhouse kick too soon, Gordon's eye will pick that up. So the secret is bringing your leg up as straight as possible. Bring it up straight, then change. That's it. Right, just speed that up for us. Bring it up straight. Right. Also, what I found worked for me was that your opponent's weakest time is as they start the attack. You know, once they're into the attack, once they already have got that far, then I'm in trouble. I've got to avoid them. Okay? But if I can manage to, as they start, to finish them off. Okay? As they start. Okay, into that position. I spoke about that earlier. That if they move to the right, they're moving into a roundhouse kick. They move to their left, they're moving into something from the side, either a spinning ushiroma or shigiri, or maybe a spinning yuraki. Okay? But if they stayed on that spot, they're at a perfect distance for it. Because from there's nowhere to go. If they decided to stick to that corner, all right? Obviously, you just have to keep your hands up.
It has been said that winning is the science of being totally prepared. Mental preparation plays a significant role. It involves the practice of structured thinking and having the ability to mentally rehearse aspects of the competition preparation. Stress of the competition can affect the thoughts and emotional state of the competitor. The competitor must learn ways to control his or her response to stress. Having a competition day routine can help maintain concentration and focus. Being properly prepared mentally and physically will give the competitor a feeling of control and self-confidence. The many hours of strenuous training are now complete. From the beginning, goals were set to build power, increase speed, and develop skill and strategy. The fighters have now reached a level where their skills and techniques are highly proficient and they perform with less conscious effort. Their attention can now be directed to higher order skills like reading the opponent and planning maneuvers. The tone of the training sessions has shifted to light, smart training, reinforcing what has been learned and applying it productively to competition-style kumite. It is important to preserve the individuality and unique style of each fighter, and the fighters must continue to practice their tokuya waza, which is their favorite technique. The final key to winning is found within the fighter. The fighter must be mentally tough and have a strong desire and determination to win. Tokyo, the Nihon Budokan, the famous martial arts center built for the 1964 Olympic Games. The Golden Dome symbolizes superb quality. At the home of Karate Do, the elite of the karate world, representing 47 countries, will meet to test their skills and find victory. It is every competitor's aim to score ippon, the highest scoring technique, well-timed, focused, capable of devastating damage, but controlled just short of impact. Johan La Grange, in his preliminary matches, stuns his opponents with his versatile style and scores many ippons on his march to the quarterfinals. In the women's Kumite section, squad member Christelle Corvin excels with her lightning-fast punches and courageous attitude to win bronze. In the first match of the quarterfinals, Johan faces Kobayashi, a former All Japan champion. Johan wastes no time and, using one of his favorite foot sweeps, takes Kobayashi down and scores. Johan's speed off the mark and penetrating power seals the match and secures his place in the semi-finals. Johan's opponent in the semi-final is Ogata, silver medalist from the World Shoto Cup and a member of the Japan Karate Association's instructors class. Ogata is an aggressive fighter who likes to dominate his opponent. Johan responds, demonstrating his mental toughness and will to win. Both fighters, eager to score first, attack furiously. Johan Mizuki stops Ogata in his tracks, but the judges decide there is not enough kime behind it. It is Johan's spontaneous reactions and perfect distancing that win him the match and take him through to the final. Johan La Grange's dream of reaching the final of the Shoto Cup has now been realized. He now faces Toshihito Kokobon, a very experienced fighter and the reigning Shoto Cup champion. Kokobon's style is completely different to Johan's previous Japanese opponents. Kokobon is a very strategic fighter who uses the ring well and observes his opponent thoroughly before making his move. This final match differs from the previous rounds in that 2 full points or 4 wazaris are required to win. Kokobon attacks and Johan counters with a brilliant throw, using Kokobon's forward momentum to take him down and follows up with a punch to the face. Johan is awarded Ippon. The fight continues, and Kokobon, fighting back, scores 4 wazaris, which win him the match, and he retains the title, Shoto Cup Champion of the World. Although Johan did not win gold, he proved himself to be a dynamic fighter with remarkable skill. His fighting spirit and strength of character earned him recognition as a world-class competitor. He is a champion in his own right. These 2 modern-day gladiators demonstrate the great master Funakoshi's precept: karate begins and ends with respect.